NBA Finals. The NBA Finals is the seasonal championship series of the National Basketball Association. The entrants are determined by the victors of the Eastern and Western Conferences, who engage in a best-of-7 game series to determine the league champion. The winners of the finals are awarded the Larry O'Brien Championship Trophy, which replaced the Walter A. Brown Trophy in 1983. Prior to the 1949-50 season, the series was named the BAA Finals, before seeing alteration following the merger between the Basketball Association of America and the National Basketball League, which created the modern NBA. The competition oversaw further name changes to NBA World Championship Series from 1950 to 1982, as well as a brief stint as the Showdown, before settling on NBA Finals in 1986. The NBA Finals was initially structured to harbor a 2-3-2 format until 2013, where the first two and last two games of the series were played at the arena of the team who earned home court advantage by having the better record during the regular season. This was then altered, because teams with a home court advantage went 21-8 in all finals appearances. The competition is currently structured under a 2-2-1-1-1 format, where the first two games are played at home for the higher-seeded team, and the following two at the home of the lower-seeded team. The following three are played at each team's home arena respectively. A total of 19 franchises have won the NBA Finals. The Boston Celtics hold the record for the most victories, having won the competition 17 times, as well as winning the competition the most times in a row, winning it 8 times from 1959 to 1966. The Los Angeles Lakers have been runners-up the most times, losing 15 finals. The Eastern Conference has provided the most champions, with 38 wins from 8 franchises, while the Western Conference have 32, also from 8 franchises. 1947-56, beginnings and Lakers dynasty. During the first decade of the NBA, the Minneapolis Lakers had the first NBA dynasty, winning 5 championships in 6 years under Hall of Fame head coach John Kundler. The team also featured George Mikan, one of the greatest players in NBA history. 1957-69, Celtics dynasty. Was a member of one of the first dynasties in the NBA, winning 8 straight titles while contending against Wilt Chamberlain. The Boston Celtics went 11-1 in the NBA Finals during 13 seasons. They won 8 straight NBA championships from 1959 through 1966. This period marks the largest stretch of seasons that a single team made up over 65% of NBA appearances, and also includes the only ever time the NBA Finals was decided in double overtime. With the establishment of the Celtics dynasty in 1957, spearheaded by center Bill Russell, the team would see great success, only ever encountering difficulty when up against teams led by Wilt Chamberlain. However, for most of the late 1950s and 1960s, the Celtics and Russell managed to have an upper hand on teams led by Chamberlain. In 1964, Chamberlain, who had moved to the state of California alongside his team, led the San Francisco Warriors to a Western Conference championship, but again failed to conquer the Celtics. The following season, he returned to the Eastern Conference to join the Philadelphia 76ers, who were the former Syracuse Nationals that had relocated to the city to cover the vacancy created with the departure of the Warriors. The first clash between the two stars in the playoffs was in 1966. with Boston winning the series 4-1. In the following season, Philadelphia coach Alex Hannum instructed Chamberlain to provide an increased focus on playing a team game, to avoid drawing the double teams that troubled Chamberlain during the finals. This tactical change brought the team to a new record of 68 wins the following season, as well as defeating the Celtics before winning the finals. In 1968, Boston overcame a 3-1 deficit against Philadelphia to once again arrive in the finals. They went on to defeat the Los Angeles Lakers in the finals to again become NBA champions. In 1969, the Celtics faced great difficulty entering the postseason, as they had an aging team and multiple injuries to a number of players. They qualified for the playoffs as the fourth and final seed in the East, while the Lakers, who in the added Chamberlain in the off-season to join stars Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. The Lakers won the West and were prohibitive favorites to become champions for the first time since relocating to Los Angeles. Despite holding a 2-1 advantage going into Game 4, the Lakers led 87-86 and had the ball with 10 seconds to play. But after a turnover, Sam Jones scored to give the Celtics a narrow 88-87 win and tying the series. The series was eventually tied 3-3 going into Game 7 in Los Angeles, with Lakers owner Jack Cook hanging balloons in the arena in anticipation of a Lakers victory. West also picked up injuries to his thigh and hamstring during the series, however, returned to play for the final game. Russell utilized this newly lacking mobility in West to organize fast breaks at every opportunity for the Celtics, which allowed them to gain an early lead. They held off a furious Lakers comeback to win 108-106 and win the series, and win their 11th championship in 13 years. As many stars either declined or retired following this win, it is largely recognized as the last NBA Finals conducted by the Celtics dynasty. 1970-79, decade of parity. The 1970s saw 8 different teams win the title, with the Celtics and New York Knicks winning twice. In 1970, a classic final featured the Knicks against the Lakers in the waning moments of Game 3. With the series tied, Jerry West hit a basket from 60 feet to tie the game, a shot which became one of the most famous ever. However, the Knicks won in overtime and continued their momentum for a 4-3 win, becoming the first team after the Celtics dynasty to win an NBA championship. The Milwaukee Bucks also won their first franchise title, defeating the Baltimore Bullets in 1971. 2 seasons after losing in the finals, the Lakers got a measure of revenge by winning 33 straight games, the longest such streak in NBA history. By season's end, they broke the record for most wins in a season with 69, one more than the 1966-67 Philadelphia 76ers, before taking home the championship. For the first time since relocating to Los Angeles, the Knicks returned to win the championship again a season later to record their second ever victorious season. Despite the rise of the Knicks, the 1974 championship returned to the Celtics, as a newly formed cohort of players led by Dave Cowens demonstrated excellent teamwork and resilience to win in 7 games to secure another title. Following the success of the Lakers, the 1970s were characterized by a major breakthrough of the league's Western franchises. In 1975, after compiling a 48-34 regular season record, the Golden State Warriors swept the heavily favored Washington Bullets 4-0 in the 1975 NBA Finals. In 1976, the Phoenix Suns, who only enjoyed 8 years of existence as a franchise, overcame a losing record early in the season to build a remarkable win streak to finish 42-40. The events culminated in upset victories over the Seattle Supersonics and the Warriors, before facing Boston in the finals. The teams split the first 4 games, before Game 5 went into 3 overtimes before Boston won 128-126. The Celtics managed to secure their 13th championship quickly after defeating the Suns 87-80 in Game 6. Other Western franchises that secured their first titles in the 1970s included the Portland Trail Blazers in 1977, and the Washington Bullets defeating the Supersonics in 1978. The Supersonics managed to exact revenge in the following season, however, as they secured their first franchise title in 1979. 1980-90, Lakers-Celtics rivalry in the Bad Boys and the Los Angeles Lakers, combining to win 8 titles. Between 1980 and 1990, the Celtics, 76ers, Lakers, or the Detroit Pistons won every NBA Finals. The Lakers won 5 titles from 1980 to 1990, the Celtics won 3, the Pistons won twice, and the 76ers won once. The 1979 NCAA Men's Division I basketball championship game featured Magic Johnson's Michigan State University team facing off against Larry Bird's Indiana State University team. This meeting has been immortalized as the beginning of the Lakers and Celtics rivalry of the 1980s, which saw each team being represented by either player respectively. The game also attracted the largest ever TV rating for an NCAA championship game, with 38% of all television viewers that night tuned to the game. Bird had actually been drafted the year before, but later decided to stay an additional year, and the 2 superstars both entered the league in 1979, leading their respective teams to dazzling heights. Johnson and the Showtime Lakers reached the 1980 NBA Finals against the 76ers, which was also led by NBA superstar Julius Erving. The Lakers took a 3-2 lead, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could not play in Game 6 due to injury. Johnson, a natural point guard, was shifted to center, and ended up playing every position on the court during the game, scoring 42 points, while also attaining 15 rebounds and 7 assists to win his first championship while being awarded his first NBA Finals MVP. A remarkable performance in the annals of the sport. Boston reached the 1981 NBA Finals led by the Big Three of Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish. During the 1980 NBA Draft, the Celtics traded 2 first-round picks to the Warriors for Parrish, and a first-round pick later spent on McHale, considered to be one of the best frontcourts of all time. All 3 players would later make the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. They met the Houston Rockets in the 1981 Finals, practically single-handedly carried by Moses Malone, who upset the Lakers and Johnson in the first round. The Rockets were only the second team in NBA history to make the finals after posting a losing record in the regular season, and the Celtics had an NBA best record of 62-20. The Celtics would later win the finals in 6 games. The Lakers returned to the NBA Finals in 1982. Time led by new coach Pat Riley, in a rematch against the 76ers. The 76ers defeated the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals in a 7-game series, but were defeated by Lakers in 6 games, with Johnson being named Finals MVP. Upon losing their past 3 NBA Finals appearances, the 76ers decided that they needed one more piece to become champions, and enlisted Malone as their premier target. On September 15, 1982, they traded for Malone, who was also the league's reigning MVP. With the new duo of Malone and Irving, the 76ers won the 1983 NBA Finals, losing only once in the entire playoffs, as well as sweeping the Lakers. However, the 1984 NBA Finals was conducted by the Celtics and Lakers, who faced each other for the first time since 1969. After an inspired performance from Bird, the Celtics toppled the Lakers 4-3. The final game of this series attracted the largest ever TV audience for an NBA game, and the second largest ever for a basketball game, with only the game between the two stars played 5 years earlier having a larger audience. It was the last NBA Finals played in the 2-2-1-1-1 format, until 2014. In the 1985 NBA Finals, the Lakers made amends for their previous 8 losses to the Celtics by defeating them in 6 games. Even though the Lakers lost the first game by 34 points in the Memorial Day Massacre, they won 4 of the next 5 games, including Game 6 at the Boston Garden, to finally end the long years of frustration of failing to defeat the Celtics. These finals were the first to be played in the 2-3-2 format, which was suggested by Boston coach Red Auerbach to NBA Commissioner David Stern, as he hoped to cut back on the frequent traveling from Boston to Los Angeles. The 1986 NBA Finals saw the Celtics face off against the Rockets, with Boston winning in 6 games, as well as securing their 16th title. Bird was also named Finals MVP for the second time. In 1987, the Lakers and Celtics met again, with both sides holding a win in the finals apiece, with the third being contested. It is regarded as a rubber match between the two dynasties. The Lakers won the first 2 games, but Boston won Game 3. In Game 4, Johnson hit and skyhook, with 2 seconds left to give the Lakers a 107-106 win and a 3-1 series lead. The Lakers would lose Game 5, but would eventually win Game 6 to clinch the series, and a 2-1 all-time win against the Celtics. Johnson was also named Finals MVP for the 3rd time. In the following 2 seasons, the aging Celtics failed to reach the finals, becoming overshadowed by the rise of the Detroit Pistons. The Lakers would manage to defend their title in the 1988 Finals, winning the series in 7 games against the Pistons. They then became the first team to win back-to-back NBA titles since 1969. Seeking a three-peat in 1989, the Lakers were swept by the Pistons in a rematch of the previous year's finals. In 1990, the Pistons then went back-to-back after defeating the Blazers in 5 games, attaining the nickname Bad Boys due to its rough, physical play, led by a Hall of Fame backcourt in Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas, and a rugged frontcourt in Dennis Rodman and Bill Laimbeer. The Pistons were attained great success. 1991-98 Bulls dynasty combined with coach Phil Jackson to win 6 NBA championships. The majority of the 1990s was marked by the supremacy of the Chicago Bulls, which saw them appear in 6 finals. Coached by Phil Jackson and led by NBA superstar Michael Jordan, the Bulls won a title in every single appearance to the finals from 1991 to 1998. Jordan was also the finals MVP every time. The only other team to win championships during this period was the Houston Rockets, who went back-to-back in 1994 and 1995 during Jordan's initial retirement from professional basketball. The first championship came at the expense of the Los Angeles Lakers, which also saw the last appearance in the finals for Magic Johnson. Billed as a showdown between the aging Johnson and the upstart Jordan, the Lakers won the first game, 93-91. For the rest of the series, Pippen guarded Johnson, allowing Jordan to attain a free-scoring role to lead Chicago to ultimately taking the next 4 games. The Bulls returned to the finals in the next year, pitted against Clyde Drexler and the Portland Trail Blazers. Throughout the 1991-1992 season, Jordan and Drexler led their teams to the best records in the respective conferences, leading to several comparisons between the two players in anticipation of a postseason matchup. Chicago defeated the Trail Blazers in Game 1 by 33 points, a game notable for Jordan breaking the record for the most three-pointer in a first half with 6. Game 2 went into overtime, with the Trail Blazers outscoring the Bulls 18-7 in the final period to run away with the win. Game 3 and 4 were split between Chicago and Portland, respectively, but the Bulls took the final 2 games, clinching their second championship. In 1993, Jordan was matched against close friend Charles Barkley, who was the league's reigning MVP. At the Phoenix Suns, the Bulls won the first 2 games in Phoenix with 100-92 and 111-108 as the final scores, respectively. The Suns, rallying behind Barkley, won Game 3, 129-121, in Chicago in triple overtime. The Bulls took Game 4, 111-105, with Jordan scoring 55 points and tying Rick Barry for the second most points in an NBA Finals game. The Suns won Game 5, 108-98, sending the series back to Phoenix. Chicago won the series clincher in Game 6, 99-98, on John Paxson's three-pointer, as the Bulls became the third team in history to three-peat. After this win, Jordan would retire from basketball to pursue a career in baseball. Following Jordan's departure, the Houston Rockets, led by Hakeem Olajuwon, won the 1994 and 1995 NBA titles. During this period, Olajuwon became the only player in history to win the NBA MVP, NBA Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP awards in the same season. That was the only year that both the NBA and NHL Finals went to 7 games while involving teams from the same city, with the Rockets facing the New York Knicks in 1994. With the win in Game 7, the Rockets denied New York from winning both the NBA and NHL titles in the same year, as the New York Rangers won the 1994 Stanley Cup Finals. After trading for Drexler mid-season, the Rockets later swept an Orlando Magic team consisting of Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway in the 1995 Finals. Olajuwon was again named Finals MVP, and the Rockets became the 5th franchise to win back-to-back titles, and became the first 6th-seeded team to win the title without enjoying home court advantage on any of their playoff series. After his short stint in baseball, Jordan returned to basketball late in the 1994-95 season. Although he did not lead the Bulls to the finals, he returned to pre-retirement form the next year while the team acquired perennial rebounding champion Dennis Rodman. The 1995-96 Bulls finished the regular season 72-10, attaining At the time, the best regular season record in NBA history. They dominated in the playoffs, with series records of 3-0, 4-1 and 4-0, before facing the Seattle Supersonics in the NBA Finals. After the Bulls took a 3-0 series lead, Seattle won the next two games after coach George Karl switched point guard Gary Payton onto Jordan, leading to a sixth game. However, Jordan altered his game to accommodate the advances of Payton, and the Bulls won Game 6 to win their fourth title. In 1997 and 1998, the Bulls met the Utah Jazz in the finals twice. Led by Olympians John Stockton and Karl Malone, the Jazz were defeated in both finals by the Bulls in 6 games. In both series, Chicago won by hitting winning shots in the sixth and deciding game, the first by Steve Kerr in 1997 in Chicago, and the second by Jordan in Utah in 1998. This saw Chicago winning their sixth NBA championship, and managing their second three-peat. However, prior to the 1999 season, Jackson decided to retire, which set off a chain reaction that resulted in most of the team, including Jordan and Pippen, requesting to leave the Bulls. With no foundation of youth to build upon, the Bulls became a lottery-bound team for the next 6 seasons. 1999 to 2010, Lakers and Spurs dominance. Was a member of the Los Angeles Lakers that won 5 NBA championships from 2000 to 2010. The Los Angeles Lakers and San Antonio Spurs combined to win 9 NBA championships during this period. The Spurs were responsible for winning 4 championships during this period, in 1999, 2003, 2005, and 2007. In the 1999 NBA playoffs, the Spurs finished with a 15-2 mark, including sweeps of the Blazers and Lakers, with a defensive squad led by David Robinson and Tim Duncan. San Antonio's 84.7 points allowed per game was the fewest average points allowed in the postseason in the last 30 years. In the finals that year, the Spurs held the New York Knicks, the first-seed team to reach the finals in NBA history, to an average of 79.8 points per game. During the 2003 NBA Finals, the Spurs defeated the Nets in 6 games, which also marked the first championship contested between 2 former ABA teams. In Game 6, Duncan was 2 blocks short of recording the first quadruple-double in NBA Finals history, finishing with 21 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, and 8 blocks. The Spurs went on to defeat the Detroit Pistons 4-3 in the 2005 NBA Finals, as well as sweeping the LeBron James-led Cleveland Cavaliers in the 2007 NBA Finals. Duncan won the Finals MVP in 1999, 2003 and 2005. In 2007, Tony Parker was named MVP, becoming the first European-born player to win the award. From 2000 to 2002, the Lakers, led by Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, won 3 straight NBA championships. O'Neal won the Finals MVP all 3 times. Their first championship came at the expense of the Indiana Pacers, whom the Lakers defeated in 6 games. During their 2001 postseason run, the Lakers swept their first 3 series and won the finals in 5 games, finishing with an unprecedented 15-1 record, the best postseason record in NBA history. Their opponent in the finals that year were the Philadelphia 76ers, led by Allen Iverson. In the 2002 NBA Finals, the Lakers swept the New Jersey Nets leading almost the entire time in each game. Only for a short while after the beginning of Game 4 did the New Jersey Nets gain any significant lead in any game. In the 2003 off-season, veteran stars Gary Payton and Karl Malone signed with the Lakers, along with Bryant and O'Neal. They formed what many expected to be one of the best teams in NBA history, and were the favorites to win the championship in 2004. However, the Detroit Pistons, under coach Larry Brown, upset the Lakers in 5 games. Chauncey Billups was named the Finals MVP. Now established as one of the premier powerhouses of the East, the Pistons would return to the NBA Finals in the following year, bowing out to the Spurs in 7 games. The 2006 NBA Finals were the only finals during this period not to feature the Spurs or Lakers, instead featuring the Miami Heat and Dallas Mavericks. It was the first NBA Finals since 1971 that had both Western and Eastern Conference champions making their first Finals appearance in franchise history. The Mavericks won the first 2 games at home, but the turning point of the series was in Game 3, when the Heat overcame a 13-point deficit with less than 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter to win 98-96. The comeback was led by Dwayne Wade's 12 points in the final 6 minutes and a clutch outside jump shot by Gary Payton, who was appearing in his 3rd NBA Finals. Miami swept all 3 of their home games, 2 of which were sparked by fourth-quarter comebacks led by Wade. The Heat would win their first ever championship in Game 6. The Lakers returned to the finals in 2008, against the Boston Celtics, renewing the team's fierce rivalry. This marked the 11th time that these 2 teams met in the finals, the last such meeting happening in 1987. The Celtics, who defeated the Lakers 4-2, were led by their Big Three superstars of Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce, who was also named Finals MVP. The Lakers bounced back from their 2008 loss and returned to the finals in 2009, where they faced the Orlando Magic, led by Defensive Player of the Year Dwight Howard in 2009. The Lakers would defeat Orlando in 5 games, with Bryant earning the Finals MVP award. The Lakers met the Celtics once again in trailing 3-2 before winning the last 2 at home, marking the first time in the history of the Celtics that they lost a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. Bryant was also named Finals MVP, with the triumphs in 2009 and 2010 becoming Phil Jackson's 10th and 11th NBA titles. With these championship victories, Jackson surpassed both Red Auerbach's record for most NBA titles of all time and National Hockey League coach Scotty Bowman's record for most titles as head coach in any major American professional sport. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.